Hi friends, welcome back. So headline, Elon Musk's Twitter takeover is now the worst buyout for banks since the financial crisis. And guys, I know there's been an awful lot of news about Elon, about Tesla, about X, about all these things recently, but I think it's because there is so much money on the line and I think the music is almost ready to stop. If you guys haven't seen this movie Margin Call, please check it out. It's about the great financial crisis. I know a lot of people who are younger may not know about these things, but it's good to hear like the kind of conversations that happen behind closed doors. And frankly, I think there's a lot of these conversations happening because we're talking about billions of dollars here. And will Musk pay the banks back? If you didn't know, he had to take out a loan to essentially buy Twitter. Moreover, he may be selling Tesla stock, right? We know that this is what's crazy. We know that Tesla's profits are down 45%. We know Twitter's also a loser, or X, you want to call it, is also a loser for them. How much of a loser is anyone's guess. There have been reports that the revenue is down big, right? But we don't know for sure because it is a private company. However, what we do know though is that Elon is suing advertisers for not advertising on X. I mean, this is how wild this story is, right? Here's the headline. X is now officially worth less than half of what Elon paid, right? So we know that the banks are nervous about these, write-downs, these kind of things. We know they're losing money. And when someone's suing you for not advertising on their platform, but things must be bad, right? It's war. Elon Musk X sues companies for not advertising. So this is the question. Is Elon good for the money, right? That's essentially what these banks are thinking about, wrestling with. And when you get the kind of headlines that it's the worst since the great financial crisis, it's not good. I mean, and sometimes, people out there, they say, Elon doesn't care about money. Banks don't care about money. It's like, guys, when we're talking about billions of dollars, I promise you, they care about money. Now, some people like to say, well, this is all about politics, right? It's all about politics. Well, even so, it's still about money. Make no mistake. So, Elon's been tweeting out crazy stuff regarding the stuff happening in the UK. I think there's a real possibility he could get shut down. I think Elon recently announced that they're shutting down in Brazil. So why not shut down in UK? Why not shut down in Germany, France, etc.? I mean, the EU could certainly make a decision on that. So could the UK. Moreover, you have this. And again, you have to bring up the stuff because it matters. We're talking about so much money involved, right?
But Elon endorsed me the other day, and I didn't even know this. He didn't even tell me about it. But he gives me $45 million a month. A month. Not 45 million. Gives me 45 million a month.
Elon Musk is giving a bunch of money to the Trump side. Trump recently is now saying, hey, maybe we'll consider Elon Musk for a cabinet position. Elon Musk responds, well, I'm willing to serve. And we're calling that the, Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. Yes, it's a real tweet. And you got this. This is also coming out today. Guys, that's why I'm going over all the details, because it's like, it's so much to go through. So the EU, they're looking at Teslas, and actually they're a little bit soft on Tesla. They're talking about tariffs on Chinese made cars. So Tesla's an American company, but they do make cars in China at the Shanghai factory. And evidently you're looking at like a 19% tariff. This isn't necessarily the end all be all though, because what could end up happening is EU raises tariffs on Chinese cars, right, coming into Europe. And then China's like, well, if you're going to do that, we're going to raise, tariffs on cars coming from Europe into our country. So, who knows what this final thing, this is sort of why you float these things out there as negotiating. So Tesla's actually going to be paying, well, we'll see. We'll just say this. Tesla's tariffs could end up being less than, say, BYD, Geely, or SAIC. Who knows exactly what the final one's going to be. NIO's on this list here also. That's like at 21.3%. But the way that they word this is, it says the rates would be imposed on top of 10% duties that exporters from China already are subject to. So, right. I mean, you guys have to understand this. Like this hurts, right? This certainly hurts. And this is like, why do you tie these things together? Because like if Elon's not good for the money, right? Because you got to make interest payments on the loans for the Twitter deal. You got to be selling some stock. And like, what do you do if your car company, right, Tesla, is going down in value, you got to sell yet more stock. And what if, people also, jump ahead of you thinking that you're going to sell? And also too, what if you were like doing some shenanigans with the Twitter deal in the beginning? Basically, if you don't know, that this is a whole fiasco. When you start buying up a company, when you reach a certain percentage, I think it's like 7% or something like that, you have to disclose that publicly, like, hey, I'm buying up a whole bunch of a company. And Musk, he claims, oh, we just forgot to disclose. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, and we'll see you have more problems with that. And unfortunately, though, people just think this is all about politics. Not necessarily. I think it's about money. I mean, you got to mention this stuff. I think it's all wrapped together. Because, like, for example, Adam Jonas, who the Tesla pumpers, love to quote, saying, hey, look how awesome Tesla stock's going to be. It's going to go up, oh my God, 39%. Remember, though, Morgan Stanley has the most skin in the game on this, right? So if Elon can't pay them back, right? If Tesla stock falls too far, you see, like, that's why they keep pumping this up. It matters. And then you got this. If you guys see my videos recently, made one on the robotaxi. Elon was promising robotaxis on August 8th. It didn't come. The date came and passed. I made a video on that. And you have real competition from Kia, Hyundai, BMW, etc. We made some videos on that. You can watch these. But I'm saying this is a real thing. Don't ignore these kind of headlines. I know the Tesla bulls will probably ignore this stuff. But this is real. Worst buyout for banks since the financial crisis. Now, some of the details of stuff is absolutely insane, which I want to go through with you guys. It says here, the $13 billion that Elon Musk borrowed, right? So that's quite a bit of money, $13 billion, to buy Twitter has turned into the worst merger finance deal for the bank since the 08-09 financial crisis. The 7 banks involved in the deal, including Morgan Stanley and Bank of America, right? So there's a bunch of people involved with this thing, lent money to the billionaire holding the company to take the social media platform, now named X, private in 2022. Banks that provide loans for takeovers generally sell the debt quickly to other investors to get it off their books, making money on fees. However, the banks haven't been able to offload the debt without incurring major losses, largely because X's weak financial performance, leaving the loan stuck on the balance sheet or hung in industry jargon, right? So, I mean, if Elon's not paying you back, right? And I think Elon wasn't paying the rent in, I think it was like the Denver office for Twitter, and then also the San Francisco office, and then they're moving to Texas or whatever. But I still think that there's a situation where they're not paying a bunch of vendors. We've been reporting this for a while, but this is we're talking about real money. The resulting write-downs have hobbled the bank's loan books, and in one case was a factor that crimped compensation for bank's merger department, according to people involved with the deal. So meaning that the bankers who are involved with this stuff, right? And you're talking about 7 banks. They're like personally also losing money. I mean, the bank's losing money, and they're like, "Yo, you're eating out my paycheck, Mr. Musk. Are you going to come up with the money or not?" The valued loans to Musk quickly soared after the $44 billion acquisition was completed, but new analysis shows how their persistent underperformance has put the deal in historic territory. There's more, which is actually really interesting. And this is coming from professor of finance over at the University of Chicago. But they're talking about here, I guess there was like a dinner. You got to hear about this. Barclays, top investment bankers, right? So these are the bankers here on the mergers and acquisitions team were told at a New York dinner early last year that the compensation for everyone in the room would be cut by at least 40% from the prior year. So, I'm sure that's not a fun dinner. Maybe people, they had their cars and their mansions to pay for or whatever. And they're like, your money's not going to be so great this year, down 40%. And then it says here, the bank had several hung deals hurting its performance, but X was by far the largest. So, for those of you who, love Elon, love Tesla, say, all these news stories are all, planned, it's all political. Well, it could be. It could be that you pissed off enough bankers who lost out on their bonuses. But this is real, guys. If you borrow money, right, to buy a company, and the company that you buy is losing a bunch of money, and if the CEO of the said company is kind of ticking off a bunch of people and, essentially suing advertisers for not giving you money, and the bankers are also like losing stuff, I mean, you're going to create a lot of negative sentiment. But at the end of the day, guys, this is about money. Make no mistake. This says here, once bankers were paid their bonuses for the year, about 50 of Barclays' more than 200 managing directors left the firm. So people are even leaving because there's not enough money for this stuff. The banks earlier this year discussed a possible plan to restructure deal where Musk could pay down some of X's outstanding debt, and the banks would agree to lower interest payments. People from the matter said, but X didn't fall through on the plan. They're even trying to work with him, but this is why I had to go through the details of this stuff. It's like, what the heck is going on over there? Moreover, with the 2-year mark on the Twitter loans rapidly approaching, the banks haven't made moves to sell them, even after some banks have marked the value of the loans down by hundreds of millions of dollars. Paper losses on the debt have dented bank profits, and holding high-risk loans directly on the balance sheet attracts more scrutiny from regulators. Interesting, so now the government's getting involved. Because of Twitter and other hung deals, some of the banks also scaled back how much they lent in providing capital for merger financing deals, according to some people. So, meaning that this Twitter thing, or not the deals, right? But remember, the Twitter one's the biggest one. It hurts the deals they can make on other things. So, for those of you out there, who are trying to, get some sort of deal going or something like that, I mean, this is weighing on all deals. It's weighing on people's money, and we're talking about billions of dollars here. It's, I guess, Bank of America, Morgan Stanley says here, commanded the top 2 spots in U.S. leveraged finance and investment banking league tables in the 2021-2022, and some quarters before Musk bought Twitter. Right in 2023-2024, J.P. Morgan and Goldman Sachs, which didn't finance Twitter deal, have held the top spot. So the way this sounds is, before Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, they were making those deals. Twitter deal comes through, kind of ruins their books there, and now J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs are kind of jumping in the top spots. So this is certainly a fact. It's not something that these people want to talk about publicly, of course. I mean, it's embarrassing, and you're talking about a lot of money. Moreover, it says here the banks have agreed to underwrite a deal that even Musk said was overvalued, and that was back. Remember the Musk, he tried to get out of the Twitter deal, if you guys remember this. And the funny thing is they I guess Musk had about 30 billion, he was ready to go, but they ended up making a buyout for 44 because of the tweets. And this is the sort of issue that you have with Musk. You are losing money at Twitter, your profits are going down at Tesla, you owe money to people regarding the Twitter deal, you're costing bankers their compensation. I'm pretty sure people don't like you. Moreover, you're like saying all this crazy stuff regarding, happenings in the UK, in various countries, and now you're trying to, basically buy a cabinet position, I guess. So, I don't know. Are we going for pardons here? Is that what we're going for? Maybe. And then also too, you got these wranglings going on with what's going on with tariffs on your cars going from China into the EU. I mean, there's such a complicated story, but I feel like when you get these kind of headlines, worst buyout for banks since financial crisis, I feel like the music's about ready to stop because, at the end of the day, someone's got to be paid. And I wouldn't be shocked. I'll just say this. I wouldn't be shocked if Elon has to sell stock. And remember this, Elon was begging, everyone to like, hey, give me my 56. It was a billion, some crazy number for his pay package thing. And he paid all the Tesla stock promoters to promote his pay package deal. This is nuts. So anyway, that's the news and the headlines of this thing. I know there's been a lot lately, but frankly, there's so much money online and there's so much crazy stuff and intertwined stuff. It's fun to talk about this with you. Please share your thoughts. What do you think about this? And I'll catch you on the next video.